Hi friends, now I am going to discuss about modules of .NET. Okay, modules of .NET. In modules of .NET we have C hash .NET. Okay, first one is the C sharp .NET language. It is a highly used .NET programming language used by most of the .NET programmers. Okay, so it is a highly used .NET programming language used by most of the .NET programmers nowadays. Okay, and it is the object oriented programming language. Why it is object oriented programming language means, whatever the C sharp .NET language is there, it borrows some programming features from C and some other programming features from C++. So initially to learn .NET it is better to have the C and C++ knowledge. Okay, so it borrows some programming features from C and some other programming features from C++. So if you know that C and C++, in addition to this it borrows few of the good features of Java language. If you know Java language also, it is better to learn .NET language easily. Okay, so that's why people who want to learn C sharp .NET, it is better to understand better to learn C and C++. If you have the C and C++ programming knowledge, in addition to this it borrows few of the good features of Java language also. Java is also an object oriented programming language. Okay, so so it borrows some programming features from C and some other programming features from C++. In addition to this, it borrows few of the good features of Java language. It is the object oriented programming language. Java is also an object oriented programming language. So it is highly used .NET programming language used by most of the .NET programmers. Okay, and next one is VB.NET. See, C sharp .NET is one kind of language. VB.NET is one language. You can use any language to develop the logic implementation in the .NET language. Okay, so VB means Visual Basic .NET. Okay, it is a Microsoft's recommended language for beginners of Windows programming. Whoever the people want to develop any Windows application or desktop application, we have two kinds of applications in .NET. One is Windows application, one is web applications. Web application is developed in ASP.NET, whereas window application mostly they prefer VB.NET. Of course, we can write VB.NET in web applications also, but mostly they used for Windows application, they used VB.NET language. Okay, but in fact it is used in very few of the projects in the real-time development world, because most of the programmers usually comes with C and C++ background. Okay, they feel comfortable to learn only C sharp. They will not feel comfortable to learn VB, because VB is something different compared to C sharp. So people nowadays, so many people are learning C and C++ in their BTech colleges. So they feel it is similar like C sharp only. C and C sharp a little bit similar syntax will be there. Okay, so they feel comfortable to learn C sharp.NET instead of VB.NET. Okay, and the VB.NET, it borrows some programming features from Visual Basic language. Okay, it borrows some programming features from Visual Basic language. It is the object oriented programming language. It is the object oriented programming language. Okay, and next one is ASP.NET. ASP.NET Active Server Pages. Okay, Active Server Pages. It is the Microsoft's web technology. Okay, ASP.NET is nothing but it is a Microsoft's web technology. It is used for websites development. It is used for websites development. ASP.NET we can call it as web technology, because whatever the ASP.NET application you are developing, the output will be coming in the web browser. Okay, In browser we are going to see the output, whereas Windows application we are not going to see the output in the web browser. We are going to see the output in the Windows application. Okay, so I will show the difference in the next class. What is the difference between the window application and web application? Okay, so it is used for websites development and it offers much attractive and user friendly user interfaces in the server side applications. Okay, and it is used for website development. Obviously, whenever you want to develop any website, you need to have the knowledge of HTML and CSS, because in ASP.NET also, whenever we are developing the ASP.NET application, we will use HTML and CSS for web page designing, and for writing the logic we will use C# or VB.NET or VC++.NET for server side logic implementation. So designing is separate, writing the logic is separate. Okay, web page designing we are going to write in HTML CSS, but we have to write the logic also. For logic we are going to server side logic, we are going to write C#, VB.NET, VC++.NET. Okay, so if you done any registration login form you designed, or else you designed any registration page, name, email ID, mobile number, okay, and submit button. So you will enter the fields. If I click on submit, the data should store in the database. To store that registration form data into database, we are going to implement server side logic implementation. So for implementing those server side logic implementation, I am going to write C#.NET or VB.NET, whichever the language I am feeling comfortable, that language I am going to write for server side logic implementation. But whereas this web page designing, I am going to use HTML and CSS. Okay, so I will show in the next classes about practical example about what is the difference between this window application and web application, how the window application output will be coming and how the web application will be coming. So whenever we are developing web application, I am going to use ASP.NET. ASP.NET means the output will be coming under browser only, web browser. So that's why it is called as web technology. So it is called as Microsoft's web technology, and it is used for websites development. It requires HTML for web page designing, because the browser will understand only HTML. Whether you developed the application in Java or .NET, any technology, the browser will understand only HTML. So it requires to write HTML for web page designing. Okay, for server side logic, you are going to write this .NET language, C#.NET or VB.NET. So friends, okay, thank you friends. We'll discuss in next class the practical example of how it will be the window application and web application. I will show practically what are the steps required. Okay, thank you friends.